Selama lebih dari 7 dekade, Indonesia dan Rusia menjalin hubungan diplomatik yang dilandaskan pada kepentingan bersama dan saling menghormati. Bagi Indonesia, Rusia merupakan mitra penting dan strategis secara geopolitik dan ekonomi. Sementara Indonesia merupakan salah satu mitra utama Rusia di kawasan Asia Pasifik dan ASEAN. Bagaimana perjalanan kemitraan kedua negara secara arah baru kemitraan yang relevan dan strategis dalam menjawab tantangan global masa kini? Halo pemirsa, Anda menyaksikan International Corner bersama saya, Gracia Simanjuntak. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Здравствуйте.
Nice to meet you. Selamat siang.
Nice to meet you too. Selamat siang. How are you doing, Mr. Ambassador?
Thank you, I'm fine.
Oh, we've been looking forward to this discussion, our discussion
Well,
today.
me too. It's a very good opportunity to
Yeah.
exchange some views and
Sure.
to tell you maybe a little bit more about my country.
Yeah. And thank you so much for this warm welcome in this beautiful residence.
Thank you for your very high assessments, and I'm very glad because this residence has been constructed 30 years ago.
Wow.
Well, so it's already part of history of our bilateral relations.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I can see that. Okay, shall we do it?
Yes. Please start.
Pemirsa, pada episode kali ini, saya akan berbincang dengan Duta Besar Rusia untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Sergei Tolchenov. Mr. Ambassador, let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, Indonesia and Russia share a long-standing partnership of 76 years. How do you view bilateral relations between Indonesia and Russia so far? And what are your hopes for these relations?
Well, really, so we have a very long history of our bilateral relations, and I'm very glad to say that since the establishment of our diplomatic relations that has been happened during the times of first president of Indonesia, President Sukarno, who, by the way, has visited, ex-former Soviet Union several times, 4 times if I'm not mistaken. We have a very good relations since then. And this is really comprehensive relations in many fields, military, political, of course, economic, and between our people. So it means that we are really very good partners, and now since last year strategic partners. And I'm try to be optimist, and I believe that in the future our bilateral relations will continue to flourish and to develop steadily. And what I would like to see this more maybe practical results, not about some political declarations, joint efforts in the multilateral fora, but maybe more Russian goods in here in Indonesian supermarkets, more projects here in Indonesian territory or in Russia, so more profitable relations.
So, building upon this strong historical foundation, let us now turn our focus to the concrete mechanisms being established to boost our economic ties. Indonesia and Russia agreed to strengthen economic ties through the signing of a protocol from a 7th Indonesia-Russia Working Group on Trade, Investment and Industry meeting last April, right? What are the advantages that the two countries can expect from this cooperation, Ambassador?
Well, this working groups has been established in the framework of our Intergovernmental Commission on Trade, Economic and Technical Cooperation. And I believe that we will have some practical agreements about cooperation in the field of energy, transportation, and IT, and many other fields, agriculture, of course, because we have interests not only to sell something to Indonesia,
Right.
but only to buy something from Indonesia, because hopefully our economies are complementary to each other. Russia has strong experience in technologies, in industry, and we are ready to share this experience with our Indonesian colleagues. And we are also waiting something from Indonesia, like maybe some agriculture products like palm oil, coffee, tea, rubber, or so on, so on. So it means that we have good prospects, I believe.
Good to hear that. Indonesia and Russia have enhanced the strategic partnership cooperation across multi-sectors. After the signing of Indonesia-Eurasian Economic Union Free Trade Agreement in last year,
Yep.
in December 2025, can you provide details on the developments in this cooperation?
So the signing of this FTA that has been held last December, it's an important step. It's really a milestone in the relations, not only with Russia, by the way, because this is FTA not between Russia and Indonesia,
Right.
but between Eurasian Economic Union that consists of 5 countries and Indonesia. And I believe that it will provide a good framework for the development of bilateral relations, because more than 90% of all the goods from Eurasian countries and from Indonesia will be free of any tariffs. And I hope it will boost our bilateral trade in the near future. But the signing has been held last December, but now this FTA should be ratified by all the countries, all the participants. I just would like to say that from Eurasian Union, some steps has been already done. So I hope that from Indonesia also these procedures would be done during this year. So if by the end of this year we will manage to ratify this document, it will really open the door for goods from both countries. And I do believe that it will be very useful not only for big companies, for state enterprises, but also for small and medium businesses in both countries. And it means that we will have more goods, as I already mentioned, more goods from Indonesia in the markets of Eurasian countries, and more Russian physical presence here in Indonesia.
Right. While the trade frameworks provide the necessary structure for commerce, Mr. Ambassador, our partnership also encompasses high-level strategic initiatives. President Prabowo Subianto's visit to St. Petersburg, Russia last year led to multiple cooperation agreements, and including an offer for a nuclear cooperation from President Vladimir Putin. So, what progress has been made regarding this agreement?
So at this moment, first of all, yes, nuclear, it's part of our bilateral discussions, topics of our bilateral discussions. But unfortunately, at this moment, it's just maybe preparative stage for such cooperation, because here in Indonesia there is still no any final decision about putting nuclear energy in the so-called energy mixed for your country, and this is not legally approved to establish any nuclear power plants or promote these technologies here. So we are ready, we are discussing these issues. I mean, my government, of course our 2 presidents, but in more practical way, there are some discussions between Russian state corporation for atomic energy called Rosatom and different Indonesian institutions like BRIN, like ESDM, like PLN, and so on, about further cooperation in this field. And when Indonesia will say, is about to say that, yes, we will promote nuclear energy here, well, we are in a standby position. We will start immediately practical negotiation about how it could be implemented here, because Rosatom has all the capabilities here. We are ready to construct big or large NPP or small modular reactors in inland or floating one. So and also very important, and I would like to stress to your audience that Russia provides to our foreign partners only those technologies that we use in our territory, and also technologies that are of high quality, that are proven and are very safe and efficient, of course. You know, in my country, we've got 11 nuclear power plants with almost 40 units of nuclear reactors. And that's why we proceed from the point of view that taking into consideration that nuclear energy and power plants that use natural gas, about 80% of energy in Russia is green.
Yeah.
So it means low emission or almost no emission, like for nuclear energy, and very efficient. So we are ready to be here in the Indonesian market, still waiting, but this is under discussion. And I hope in coming days or weeks, more delegations from Russia will come to discuss these issues with ministers, with a higher level, or with those who maybe would be operator of these power plants in Indonesia.
On that topic, Mr. Ambassador, in a meeting between Indonesian and Russian Minister of Energy, Russia has expressed its readiness to support Indonesia in enhancing its energy security. The support includes the supply of oil, natural gas, and what else? Storage. The question is, what are the next steps, and what specific forms of cooperation can be developed?
Yes, the issue of providing Indonesia with oil and gas from Russia has been discussed by our leaders, and next day by two ministers of energy of the Russian Federation of the Republic of Indonesia. And well, in general, we agreed that we can supply Indonesia with crude oil from Russia, and all the other details should be discussed by businesses. Now this is under discussion between them, and all the other issues, when, at what price, what destination here in Indonesia, they should be discussed by businesses. Okay. But I would like to tell to you and to your audience, please be ensured that Russia is a very responsible and sustainable supplier of energy resources. Indonesia is our friend, and we are about to promote such kind of cooperation with friendly countries, including Indonesia. So I hope later on we will know that Russian crude oil has come already to Indonesia, but well, doesn't matter how and how we managed to do it.
All right. It is clear that the bilateral and economic foundations between Indonesia and Russia are entering a more strategic and robust phase, Mr. Ambassador.
Exactly like this. And this is another one confirmation that really our partnership is strategic, and this is covering all the areas that we can imagine. And this is not only economy, it's also human contacts, people-to-people contacts, education, humanitarian exchanges, well, cultural exchanges, it's everything. And this is also another one confirmation that we reached very high level, a really strategic level of partnership.
Mr. Ambassador, we will continue our discussion on various regional and global matters.
Thank you.
Pemirsa, International Corner akan segera kembali. A program that brings the world to your screen through insightful dialogues, exploring various issues with international figures. How do you view this?
It gives more visibility to Indonesia in France.
Revealing various facts regarding bilateral, regional, and multilateral cooperation in numerous sectors. Welcome back, Mr. Ambassador, to our second segment.
I'm Grazia Simajuntak, the producer and host.
And I'm your host, Arya Sindiara. Join us on International Corner.
Obrolan seputar isu paling hangat, jangan dengar dari sembarang sumber.
Di sini, podcast yang mengundang narasumber pakar dan ahli terpercaya. Podcast Antara on the record, podcast Antara close up.
Simak ya, hanya di
antaranews.com/video
dan YouTube AntaraTV Indonesia.
Jadilah yang lebih dulu dalam menerima informasi yang tengah menjadi perbincangan di jagat publik.
Sebelumnya Mary Jane sudah mengajukan gerasi namun ditolak.
Kami sajikan dengan narasi dan infografis yang mudah dicerna oleh halayak. Desain mengotak dengan streamline-nya membuatnya tampak gahar sekaligus elegan.
Saksikan hanya di Perantara, tayang setiap hari Minggu di portal antaranews.com.
Dan setiap hari Senin di kanal YouTube AntaraTV Indonesia.
Pastikan tidak ketinggalan setiap episodenya.
Pemirsa, Anda kembali menyaksikan International Corner bersama Duta Besar Rusia untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Sergei Tolchenov. Mr. Ambassador, let us now touch on Kazan Forum. Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum will be held in early May in Kazan. Can you share what is this forum about and what are the goals of this forum?
This is international economic forum, but mostly focused on some issues related to Islamic economy, like Sharia banking, halal production, even moderate fashion, Muslim fashion, and so on, so on. By the way, halal cuisine, quite many issues. And this is a traditional forum, so it's not for the first time, and it's about, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 17 session of such forum has been already organized. And every year we invite a lot of people from Indonesia, for example. Last year, Minister of Culture of Indonesia has been there, some other people, because it's a lot of different sideline events in the framework of organization of Islamic cooperation and so on, so on. And this year we will be also very glad to see more people from Indonesia, and also important to underline that maybe not a lot of people know it's here in Indonesia about Russia, that in Russia Muslim population, it's also big part of population of my country, somewhere between maybe 15 or 20 million of people. So it's maybe second large religion in my country, and 7 region in Russia has dominating Muslim population, including Republic of Tatarstan, where Kazan is the capital city. And that's why in my country we chose this city, Kazan, like place for such international economic forum, when we can discuss different kind of cooperation in this Muslim economy. And also this year it will be also important for us, because also like another side event, there will be next meeting of our joint intergovernmental commission on trade, economic and technical cooperation.
Moving from economic forum to security frameworks, the first international security forum will be is scheduled to take place in late May in Moscow region.
Yes, later May.
Yeah. What can you tell about this event and its purpose, especially in this current geopolitical condition?
Really, this is called First International Forum on Security, or Security Forum, or Forum on Security Issues. But in fact, this is like a continuation of a process that has been started about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And that time it has been called International Meetings of High-Ranking Officials Dealing with Security Issues. And Indonesia participated in this dialogue from the very beginning, and we believe that this is a kind of platform for multilateral discussions regarding different issues related to national security or strategic security of any country. And every year we focused on some issues like maybe IT security, cyber security, physical security. And we hope that this, and mostly we invite all the countries, but mostly those who are believed to belongs to what we call sometimes global south or global east participate in these discussions. Do believe that this year also delegation from Indonesia will be there, and we invited different ministries like coordinating ministry for politics and security, Ministry of Defense, National Police. And I hope that on the sidelines we also will have some bilateral events and discussions to promote and exchange views regarding different kind of security issues that both sides are interested in.
Speaking of conflicts around the world, such as the current condition in Middle East, have been our common concern. How do you think Indonesia and Russia can contribute to help reduce the conflict and promote peace through their multilateral channels and bilateral relations with countries involved in conflict?
You know, it's yes, geopolitical situation is very complicated, and several big conflicts and crises are developed around the world, and I'm pretty sure that Russia and Indonesia, like big countries, like member of UN, of G20 and BRICS, can contribute. Just spoken loudly about necessity to stop down all the conflicts. But you know, so it's not only maybe ceasefire or just a kind of pause in this conflict should be done. Normally, and this is what we are stressing all the time when it comes to conflict around Ukraine, for example, or around Persian Gulf, or in Middle East, around Israeli-Palestine crisis. The roots, grassroots of this conflict should be solved, because without this, you should stop hostilities many times, but it will restart it in several months or in several years. But if it will be comprehensive solution, if the origins of this conflict will be solved, this will bring long-lasting and really sustainable peace to this part of the world.
Now, what are your thoughts, Mr. Ambassador, on the matter of energy security in light of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? How do you think the affected country should respond to the difficulties resulting from the current condition in the Middle East?
It's not easy to solve this issue, because yes, this has a very strong impact for the rest of the world. Just closing one strait, and everyone, even here in Indonesia, felt and can see the results just looking at the prices at your gas stations here in Jakarta or around Indonesia. But it's another one issue that maybe countries should diversify their cooperation in the field of energy, because there are no single country in the world maybe that can ensure those issues like energy security by themselves. They need international cooperation, and as I already mentioned, Russia is a supplier, one of the major suppliers of oil and gas in the world, is ready to cooperate with many countries. I just would like to remind that my president, Vladimir Putin, mentioned that we are ready to cooperate not only with our friendly countries, but even with Westerns, if they're serious and if they would like to have long contracts, long deals about these energy supplies. So, well, I hope that I hope soon this conflict will be solved and it will bring more solutions to this situation. But I'm pretty sure that we will feel the consequences of this crisis for quite a long time. And unfortunately, it is not easy. It's easy to start such kind of hostilities, but it's very difficult to solve the outcomes and consequences of this situation.
Ambassador Tolchenov, thank you so much for your insights on this complex geopolitical and security challenges.
Thank you.
My
pleasure.
We will return shortly to conclude our discussion today on the final topics. Pemirsa, International Corner akan kembali dengan topik kerjasama sosial dan budaya. A program that brings the world to your screen through insightful dialogues, exploring various issues with international figures. How do you view this?
It gives more visibility to Indonesia in France,
revealing various facts regarding bilateral, regional, and multilateral cooperation in numerous sectors. Welcome back, Mr. Ambassador, to our second segment.
I'm Grazia Simanjuntak, the producer and host.
And I'm your host, Arya Sidiara. Join us on International Corner.
Halo pecinta sepak bola Indonesia. Tahu nggak, di 1952 ada Tony Pogasni, warga negara Yugoslavia yang harus lewati lobi politik dulu untuk latih timnas Indonesia. Nah, itu baru satu fakta. Masih banyak lagi hal seru dan fakta menarik tentang sejarah dan sosok-sosok penting sepak bola di tanah air. Saksikan hanya di Sport Antara.
Menyajikan fakta yang belum pernah terungkap. Nusantara Beat adalah grup musik berbasis di Amsterdam dengan akar budaya Indonesia yang kuat.
Mengulas segala hal yang berkaitan dengan musik secara mendalam dan informatif. Kedekatan Kurt Cobain dengan The Fazlins tak hanya sampai di situ. Nama depan putih Kurt diambil dari nama personil The Fazlins, Francis McKay.
Ngobrol santai dan menyaksikan penampilan apik musisi favorit.
Saksikan hanya di AntaraTV.
Pemirsa, selamat datang kembali di International Corner. Bersama dengan Duta Besar Rusia untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Sergei Tolchenov. Mr. Ambassador, we have spent the last two segments discussing the strategic, economic and security pillars of our partnership. However, no relationship between nations without a strong social and cultural foundation. Now, in this final segment, we will turn our attention to the people-to-people connections that truly sustain the bond between Indonesia and Russia. Indonesia and Russia are countries that are far apart, which will influence our mutual visits. Considering such a fact, what do you think is the most effective way to increase people-to-people contact?
I believe it's interests that both nations have in each other. Because for Russian people, so Indonesia, it's very popular and interesting destination for tourism. And also we understand that culturally Indonesia is very different, and people are also interested in different kind of Indonesian culture, starting from Muslim culture here in Java or in Sumatra, in Aceh, for example, or very colorful culture in Bali. And Indonesia has a lot of historical heritage, like Borobudur, Prambanan, or other places. So it's also interesting destination, and so every year more and more Russian tourists are coming to Indonesia. And also I believe people from Indonesia interested in different kind of culture and also education, by the way, in Russia. And I have heard from quite many people in Indonesia that they like to be in Russian cities like Moscow, Kazan, and especially St. Petersburg, which is also very famous for its architecture and historical buildings, museums. So this is a very good foundation and very strong foundation for promoting people-to-people contacts and exchanges.
So what actions do you encourage for the Indonesian-Russian communities to get to know each other better? And what activities do you think can be carried out to broaden mutual understanding?
Well, you know, when it comes to my embassy and, well, to diplomatic service in general, what we can do for promoting and facilitating people-to-people contacts, this is to facilitate visa regime. Unfortunately, there is still no visa waiver, so the Russian citizen should get visa on arrival when they would like to come to Indonesia. The citizens from Indonesia should ask for electronic visa. Now it's easier. You should not come to my office to get the visa. You should go. You can go online. Do it through internet online. But we are still thinking about how to facilitate this process, and maybe in the future to have a non-visa regime for both of our countries. This will be ideal, I believe, so for ordinary people. I know that, for example, there is this high demand in Indonesia for for education in Russia, and we would like to bring more information about Russian scholarships to different universities, to different social circles of Indonesia, to talented, gifted children. Also, maybe to have more kind of cultural exchanges. And you know, I have heard, and I can say that we now put into our bilateral agenda possibility for joint filmmaking, to exchange artists, to translate and print more books, Indonesian books in Russia and Russian books here in Indonesia. For example, you know, I was a little bit surprised because it has been done without any participation of my embassy. But just last month, when one of famous Indonesian writers, Eko Kurniawan, was in Moscow, he participated in one book exhibition, and he was greeted by a Russian audience. And I asked one of my colleagues, is it he's really famous in Russia? They told me yes, and it's very difficult to buy his books in my country. So, and here, well, maybe it's more classic literature, but such names like Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and other people, so still famous here, and we would like to promote it. So, from my embassy side, we try to promote such contacts between libraries, museums, even archives, universities. So this is what I can say, that different kind of people-to-people contacts and exchanges. So still have a lot of potential here, but and also maybe another two aspects I should not forget, this youth exchanges and sport exchanges. Maybe one day we will see a Russian football team here and a national team in Jakarta, or Indonesian team in Russia for friendly match. And we already have good contacts in different kind, like badminton, which is that is very popular here in Indonesia, some kind of wrestlings, gymnastics, and so on, so on. So we have quite many plans.
So cultivating the social ties often starts in classrooms, right? In our classrooms or research centers. And cooperation in education is one way to increase people-to-people contact. You've mentioned earlier about the scholarship programs, but what about the student exchange? Are there any programs from Russian government for Indonesian students, Mr. Ambassador?
Well, mostly we are focused on scholarships, and we provide several hundred scholarships. It's quite a big number. But you know, for these 100 scholarships, we've got thousands of applications. So it means people would like to come because education in Russia, and I would like to stress it, it's still of a very high quality. And we are ready to support those ideas of Indonesian government about promoting STEM education, so it's science, technology, engineering, and math. Because Russian technological universities are still very famous in the world, and we are ready to cooperate in this field. But when it comes to student exchange, scholars exchange, this is mostly between universities. It's not very well developed at this moment, but I'm looking for the future. We have some ideas maybe to organize a kind of fora of rectors of Russian in Indonesian universities to promote such exchanges, maybe visiting professors programs or student exchange. Some universities are very active in this field. For example, my alma mater, MGIMO, this University for Foreign Relations in Moscow. They've got, even now, they've got several students in UGM in Jogja. For example, this is a good example of such cooperation. So we are open for this and try to bring more universities from Russia to Indonesia to let them know more about Indonesian youth, because I believe that this is a real future of your country. It's not only labor force, but it's your future in technologies, in science, and quite many other fields, and we would like to have more connection with them.
Building on that foundation of academic exchange, we must also consider the professional development of our citizens. Are there programs in Russia that support human resource capacity building and can also accommodate Indonesian workers, Mr. Ambassador? Do you see any other areas with potential at this time?
Yes, you know, occasionally, just starting since last year, we started to think about such a kind of cooperation, because before it was not a topic in our bilateral relations. But now, when we have some ideas from the Indonesian side, and I have heard about the program of President Prabowo to send every year 100,000 of Indonesian workers abroad. So maybe Russia also could be a partner in this field. And we are ready not only to think about possibility to bring Indonesian workers to my country, but also to enhance their capabilities to that you mentioned, capacity building of those people. So it means also to upgrade their skills, and after a period of time of working in Russia, those people will go back to Indonesia and contribute to development of your national economy also.
Ambassador Tolchenov, spasiba for sharing your vision on this vital educational and social cultural links. It is clear that while trade and policy are important, it is the mutual understanding between our people that will ensure the longevity of Russia-Indonesia relations. And this brings us to the conclusion of our discussion today. So thank you so much for being part of International Corner.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak.
Spasiba.
Terima kasih.
Demikian pemirsa perbincangan International Corner dengan Duta Besar Rusia untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Sergei Tolchenov. Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya.